Welcome to another BeoTalk podcast number 343.
It's our last podcast on Skype.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We have to see if we can actually make Teams work.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, happy last podcast, everybody.
uh,
God, it's.
man,
Anyways, so that derailed that.
I forgot about that. Damn it. Anyway, go, we'll go do some shilling, buy something at Skinny Play. Put the links in the chat. Use the promo code to get 10% off. And buy anything you like. The A9 is quite popular. See, our promo code is better than the one you get on the website, so that's always good.
That's it.
Then go buy these aluminium covers at Tigrino Studio with a discount code as well to get 10% off of every item.
There's no motion in the ocean on the theater covers, though, hey?
No, it takes a long time.
No, I'm sure.
I mean, B&O took, 2 years to develop the theater as is, right? And it took him a year and a half to do anything Ferrari, so...
How many Swiss Army knives did it take for those lamellae to be carved with?
Yeah, exactly, but also this is a smaller company. B&O still has, 900 people or something?
Yeah, I guess.
And like 2 factories and stuff like that, so it's not entirely surprising. So, I mean, we're talking about small independents.
But B&O does make them, obviously, because they're on the Ferrari edition. So
yeah, they do now.
maybe venture down the 5,000 Canadian dollar hole of getting a cover for your $10,000 theater.
I have a picture of another aluminium cover for the theater. I cannot show you, but it's made by B&O, and just know that if you're in the custom realm, you can ask for it. But it looks like the cover of the 50s.
I know which one it is.
Yeah, so it is possible. They have made it before.
It's there.
If you're looking for that. Yeah, but go to Greeno as well. Come join our Discord if you haven't yet already. Be the first one to know things that shouldn't be out yet that are out in stores.
Already.
Yeah, that are color matched to the new current line of peach.
Indeed.
So, yeah, do
We
that.
don't have ours out yet, so I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, good.
We're waiting.
Because you're not supposed to.
I know. I cannot keep that. No, we're waiting.
I mean, I don't mind that dealers, as soon as they get it, put stuff out, right? But just be a bit more secure in who takes pictures in your
I
store.
don't think it's correct anyways to like just shove it right on the display. Like maybe if you have customers that were waiting for something that, like enticing type of thing, that you can show them like this is what's new, like I guess the loyal or old clients, right? But I just wouldn't put it out in the shopping window and for everybody that, has a little bit of whiz in them to take pictures and repost it on Insta and or whatever social media that it's on.
Yeah.
Discord as well.
Kabisa asks, why don't you use Discord for the podcast? It's not that I don't want to, right? But there's 1,200 people or so on Discord. There is no way to make that chat like not findable for a bunch of other people. So I'm very afraid I'm going to spend half my time just going reject to people that go like, ooh, you're live, I can call in.
Yeah, that's true as well.
And the Skype thing is not connected to the same thing that everything else is, so therefore it's much harder to find.
Yeah, I think Teams is going to be a good way to go. Okay,
it's
we'll
also
figure it out.
Yeah, it's the thing is also I use OBS right for streaming, and Skype, and I'm not sure Teams has it, but has an NDI source selection, meaning most of how OBS works is screen capturing, and like you capture that. But if whatever is beyond the screen changes, like your window size changes, what you're capturing changes. And Skype just forwards the full NDI source. So it doesn't matter where I put the Skype box. I can even minimize it, and it doesn't affect how you appear to everybody else. So there's that. And I don't think, I haven't found it yet anyway, that Discord has an NDI source or something similar where you just capture the total incoming video feed regardless of what happens to the window. Bit technical, but this is how we started, right? Initially, when we started podcasting, I did the screen capture thing. And I spent 10 minutes before every show, like sizing everybody up correctly and placing them. Then if somebody dropped, everything was off. And it was like,
I remember those days. Yeah, I remember those days.
And now, if your internet drops or something, you just stop at a silly face because it captures the last output image. And that's all it is.
Better than resizing all the windows and stuff. God.
Yeah. Also, if your your internet fluctuates because Skype dynamically changes window size with resolution coming through. It doesn't change its size with the NDI source thing going on. So that's kind of pleasant.
Yeah, we'll figure it out one way or the other.
Yeah, it's nothing against Discord. I like our Discord. Come join our Discord. I mean, most of you guys have already.
Yep.
Divine Style Gaming asks, where do you find these leaks? Well, currently, I think it's in the Beosound section on the Discord.
Yes.
Or is it a general? Or is it...
It's somewhere in there. I've seen it. I think it's in photos even. I don't quite recall exactly where it is shoved, but there is.
Yeah, let me see. Let's go find it for you. I'm not going to put it up just yet. I'm just going to look where it is on our Discord.
It's in BioForum, Max is saying.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's under future product. Yeah. Thank you, Max. This is why Max is the best mod.
Yeah, there it is.
I mean, it looks like a screen grab of somebody that posted something. So who knows if it's out on the internet somewhere on an Instagram story.
Could be.
So yeah.
But it's nothing too major, anyways.
No.
So far.
But the only thing I'll really say about it, the things people are worried about, are nothing to worry about, and it's more of a Beolit 17 to 20 difference than anything else.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, it's nice, but I'm still on the Gen 1, and I still feel no reason to update. Really. Just this is still fine. And it's still
the only thing that I think the only danger that product faces, and I'm hoping that they kind of address that in the redesign on the 3rd gen, is the screw pegs that hold that entire assembly, because if you drop it too many times they break off, and then the base driver, which I've had the pleasure to actually take it apart. And the amount of power that small little unit has, it is incredible. And if there's just a little crack where the air can go through, it starts to rattle and fart, and then that's basically the end of that. And unfortunately, the way that it's made, that entire backbone's black plastic structure is ultrasonically welded to the bottom plate, right?
Yeah.
There is no way to take it out and swap it, or
you can fix it once with super glue if it properly breaks.
Yeah, but that's what,
make it airtight.
Glue it right. Yeah, but then you have it's one of those DIY videos. You end up with fucking baking soda and super glue and a bunch of mess, right? Like, come on.
Not even the cotton wool, and then do a bunch of super glue on that.
Yeah, God. So that's that.
Yeah, it's these. Oh God, it's like from like China or India videos, right? Where you just see hands and you see people like literally like glue sticking like this, and then they go. It's like, oh my God, like why not just do it properly?
So yeah, if that breaks, it's over. That's done. There's nothing. The only thing that's really serviceable in the burger is the battery.
Yeah, which
I
should be
think this one
plenty
is
if you.
a cradle to cradle one now, so we'll see what else will be fixable on it. But we have a first set of H100s that require a exchange of a headband
Oh,
as service. I don't know what. I think one of the I don't know. Something's weird. And so we watched the video,
wait,
man, with Etienne.
but
To
not this part, right?
no. It needs to be like the whole deal, bro. It is so much work.
Okay.
It is so much work. Like, yeah, it is fixable, but man, we're watching this video. I'm like, I'm sure that there's no way in hell that this was done on one take. First of all, there's no way.
Yeah, one screw is gonna fall somewhere.
Oh man, it's so intricate. Like these things are so intricate, and you need to get this special suction cup so you can unlock because the glass turns to unlock and pull out, so you get access to the screws. Which I love that about B&O. Like their design is very minimal for screws. It's really hard to,
Yeah.
it's like a Fabergé egg for God's sakes. Like how do you get in it? So that's cool, but it also is a pain in the behind even when you know where they are. So that's coming up. We'll see how that goes in the shop. Maybe I'll come
I'm
back.
amazed that they told you to fix it there and not send it back.
Well, but that's the whole premise of being able to the repairability, right?
No, I understand, but most of the BeoPlay range is always sent back to.
Yeah, to me, I was like, I once I saw that video, I'm like, dude, it would be way easier for us to just ship them out, replace them, and RA the pair, and that's that.
Yeah. Also, for everybody watching, this is your last warning because on the first, all prices are going to go up by 10, 15, sometimes 20%, depending on what product you have.
I have a list we can go down.
Sure. Sounds good because I think here in the US, the H100s are going to be $1,800 instead of like $1,500.
Yeah. So let's start with the first one, the connectivity, which is BeoConnect Core. That's going up 9%. All the prices are in US dollars, so from 1150 to 1250. BeoLit 20, in my opinion, should be obsolete by now, but it's still a kick in, and it's going by 8%, so from 600 to 650. H100s from 1549 to 1850, which is an increase of 19%. That is the highest increase on the entire list.
Cool. Divine Style Gaming asked in the US or EU also. It's globally. For some reason, right? The US has decided that we're going to tariff everybody, which is like neither here nor there. But in response to that, B&O has said,
everybody gets a poop sandwich.
Yeah, no matter if you're tariffed or not, you're going to pay through the nose now.
So A9 black anthracite and aluminum and gold tone are going up by 8%. So black anthracite was $38.99. It's now $4,200. A9 natural is $4,000 even now to $4,300. Beosound 2 natural black anthracite and gold tone from $3,500 to $3,700, 6% increase. Ferrari edition unaffected. Beosound 2 Riva unaffected, more or less, I think, because they're probably discontinued by now. Beolab 8 from $2,800 to $3,050, 9% increase.
Sorry, what? Beolab 8 from what?
$2,800 to $3,050, so 9%.
So because the you have it listed as a per unit there. Then,
yes, it's all per unit now. It's all per unit. Then cover, fabric, wood, ceiling bracket, floor stand, table stand for Beolab 8 are unaffected by pricing increase. Beolab 18 is going up by 9%, so from 4,200 to 4,570 per speaker. Wood covers unaffected for BeoLab 18s. BeoLab 50, it's going from 30,500 to 32,700, 7% increase.
Cool.
Front cover golden, black, aluminum, and side panel black, unaffected. BeoLab 90, 84,850 per speaker. Now it's going to be 7% more, so $90,600. So we are at $181,200 for the set.
Yeah, pre-sales tax here anyway, but
so plus panels are $1,400 unaffected. So they went up because I remember they were $1,200. Wow, a long time ago. Beosound Theater soundbar from $9,900. We're finally getting across the threshold of 10K, so it's going to be 10,800. That's another 9% increase. And subsequently named below, Theater 55, 65, and 77, including aluminum wings, are going to be also 9% increase. 77 inches, 8%. So respectively, 55 goes from 9,900 to 10,800. 65, 10,400 to 11,300, and 10,900 to 11,800 for the 77-inch. Beosound Theater wood cover unaffected. Beosound Theater fabric cover unaffected. And that hopefully and gladly, I'm glad to say, I guess, that this is the end of the list. So whatever wasn't named, I do not think is going to get affected, but I do not see how the Beosound shape will not.
I mean, it will, because there's a BeoConnect core in there, for instance.
So that's the only thing that is, that's the only thing that increases in price, but I don't think that the amplifiers. No, BeoLab 819 was not listed on the price list, so I don't think that they're going to increase that. And quite honestly, I really think that and the 18s are slowly going to be faded away because of the lack of DPL capability in Mozart platform.
Sandeep says my dealer was told in March there would be no more price rises. Yeah,
for 2026, he said, I guess. So that's a year away from now, brother. Too bad. Yeah, it's getting a little.
Whilst I hope so, and I would love for that to be true, I mean, B&O's track record of price increases is not that steady. It's actually so steady. You can put pretty much a timer on it for every 6 months, if not sooner. I mean, if you are price sensitive, which I think most of you are, because I am at this point, because 10% on 60 grand of 50s is not the same as 10% on 30 grand of 50s, right? It's
yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, but oddly enough, our shop is seeing the increase and it's selling. Things are moving along.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the thing is, right, some people, and maybe even some people in our audience, are kind of sort of semi-unaffected by these price changes, or you have accounting methods in which you can buy it for your business or something of the sort, right? But the regular, well, maybe not regular, but the sort of normal person with a normal job like you and I, it's like, oof.
It's starting to get out of reach, employee discount or not. Like, there's only so much that you can afford anyways at the end of the day. And I guess, I'm glad that I'm capped out. I just don't have enough rooms to put stuff into anymore, and I don't even have enough rooms to put whatever I have in already. So
I mean, the sort of double whammy of it is that if you're in North America, it's even worse, right? Because there essentially is no second life market.
No, people hang on to this shit here hard, man.
Yeah, but also even second life, like, dealers don't do anything with it. Like, you can almost not really return anything. Like,
I honestly believe that the secondhand market is almost like kryptonite for the dealers here. We don't like to deal with it, and I understand why. Because I think the biggest problem with doing the older or reselling the older gear, it dips into the profit margin of the current product, obviously, because somebody that could have bought an LG panel with the stage, then just walks out with, let's say, a 10-year-old BeoVision 755 type of thing, right? For $2,500 or whatever. But then, installing it's almost not worth the money, because these older products take a lot more to put together than, than slapping a theater on the wall with the LG screen. Like, everything is way easier now than it used to be, with the fucking wires and master links and so on and so forth. If you have a house that's full of master link, you're kind of stuck, and it makes sense for the secondhand gear. But I think the biggest problem is that people here, at least the misconception is that, yes, you bought a secondhand gear, but it doesn't come with a 3-year warranty anymore, bro. You get 3 months if at the best, and that's the end of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not just TV. It's also speakers, right? Like overtures or stuff like that.
Yeah, but to me, that's like taking grandmother to the nightclub and expecting that she's gonna break it down like she did when she was, breaking it to the Charleston back in fucking 20s. Like, it's not gonna
No,
happen.
I understand, but like at least in the Netherlands and all over Europe, dealers will have a second life sort of area where, like, if you already have an overture that dies, you can buy another one from them, right?
We have that, but it's not Second Life. It's more or less Richard decided to make one of the rooms in our shop a museum thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which is good, because it's more or less like a parts graveyard, as long as it don't take the facial plates. Like, there's a lot of shit that's missing guts and brains inside it, because it's just there to be pretty.
Yeah.
And just to kind of show off the history of the progress. Like, we're fucking pulling on 100 years, man. There's a lot of product, and there's our significant pieces there, but there's some that what are we doing with this? But
I mean, it's the same for like 8,000, 6,000, 4,000s, even 12s. You name it. There's so many speakers you can potentially buy at a dealer second. It'll be more than the second-hand market, right? And they'll be looked over, and they, like you said, will come generally with a 3 or 6 month warranty, and you'll pay a premium. But it's from a dealer, and it gets you in the door. And look, if you're looking at 8,000s and you're willing to pay somewhat of a premium for it, but that's your budget, right? You're never going to buy 18s or 8s anyway.
No, but for that reason also, I think that why we don't also do it is the company that we deal with as our legacy product service center, right? Fuck, man, I go there every now and then. They got Beograms or Beosound, whatever, the Centuries and Overtures and whatever. They sell that stuff. They deal with that that second life product that we don't really need to. And yeah, if people come to the store and ask for something, like, if they don't really want to buy anything new, or they don't have the budget for it, and they're really specifically looking for a certain part, just send them to NDG down on Sherbrooke, and that's it. And then you can either go and get your stuff fixed there, which also, like, it's easier for us to just, in my opinion, I would just send the guy with the older stuff to get it fixed directly in the service center, and you break their balls instead of me having the headache of it all, right? But then again, we are the B&O store, so people are going to come to us with this service issues and so on, so we have to deal with it. But yeah, the second life market is very, very like, the only thing that I remember that I guess, like, is the second life market would be, I had a huge waiting list for Beosound 9000s. I've had people that were waiting for 2-3 years till I was able to get them one from somebody else that, or a house that was built with it, and the new people, bought the house, and what the fuck is that? We don't need a CD player, right? Okay, let me take that off you. Pay them whatever, get it refurbed, and then sell it for good cash. But those days are also kind of over. Even though that the 9000 is skyrocketed in price value nowadays because of the Biosystem 9000C, right?
So did the Harmony go up? Not?
Nope.
Interesting. Because there will be tariffs on that. So, like Kabi says, it might be an EOL thing then.
The only thing that they should do with the Harmony is either discontinue it in current state, or get a fucking wooden box for this thing, man, to ship it in.
Still?
You know what? I'm bitching, but the last one we got came mint. However, the tilt sensor was not green, so they did flip it at some point somewhere, but it didn't bear the scars of the forklift.
Well, that's good, sort of, I guess.
Yeah, so now we have 3 Harmonies in the warehouse that are waiting to go back to Denmark. and one that had damage that we expected and was fine. And actually, there was a guy from Denmark flew in and fixed it. I was saying it's fucked from the beginning because it was starting up like this, like one side would be out.
Yeah.
And so we took the screen off. I'm like, is it the power cord, fucking with it or something? No, no.
It's
It's the
just one
line neck
actuator
actuators.
starts
Line
before
neck
the other.
actuators were out of sync, and it's literally by like 1.5 mils on from the side. But on an 83-inch screen, that's fucking inches, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a lot. And then when you turn it off, it always pops on. Please recalibrate the stand or the mechanism. So yeah, that was the only weird ones that I've seen. But overall, they're very very steady as
I
far
mean,
as the.
another difference, especially for us here in the US, which is kind of annoying. I don't see a lot of shops selling X demo. It's not really a thing. It sometimes happens when like it's really like been in the store for like a year or 3.
See, we have, I would say there is a 65-inch Harmony, the OG, the first one, right when it came out. I think that one's gonna die there till
Yeah.
somebody buys it for peanuts and a handshake. But screw the panel. It's the mechanism, right? That's the only thing that you worry about. That's what you're buying. But that being said, like we rotate stuff pretty frequently, at least once a year. Sometimes when stuff is back ordered, like you just the people don't care. Like just there's no cores. Like there's been time where there was cores were back ordered. Well, sorry, Kareem, you're fucking losing the shape. I need that for tomorrow, and
Yeah.
that's it. And but that happens very few and far in between times, and that's also one thing that I really hate about having happening in the shop. Because if you do the gateway, because now the BLI is completely all over the map. That there's nothing programmed because everything got swapped out and switched around and blah 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 and the factory reset a couple times because we had issues with the network that would till be found out, and then the BNO published right the 24 is the cap, which kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't make sense, and it's so kind of aggravating that you are requesting us as a dealer to have everything powered up, but yet you don't supply enough slots to allocate for all of your gear in your own environment to make it functional without any glitches and hitches. So yeah, like if you want to display, like we're gonna have a little display thing of BioLab 8. None of them are gonna be fucking plugged in. It's just gonna be there for the display and sake of the color display.
Yeah.
Here's the anthracite, silver, bronze, and the honey tone, whatever else have you, or some bespoke nonsense that we'll order. But that's about it. So yeah, that's one thing that especially with all these speakers nowadays, where everything wants to be on the bloody network, and the only way to really get rid of it is through the DPL. But not everything has a DPL.
Yeah, it's problematic. I mean, coming back to second, or not second hand, but more like X demo.
Yes.
Do people ask for it, or is it?
No. No, and honestly, the skill that Kareem has, it's insane. There was a lady that came in to replace a batteries, and what the heck was it? I think it was an RTI remote, and she left with a theater. Made sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not many people buy. Like, there's really not that big of a market for old stuff. There's a lot of it's not even a market.
But if it's X
there's not even a
demo,
market for
right? Like
repair.
if you have a set of 90s there, I'd rather get your store 90s than like pay new price.
Yeah, that's going to be tough as rock now because those 90s are not even a year old that they came into the shop. So they're going to sit there for a bit, right?
I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but this goes for some stores, right? Like in some stores, I would not want the X demo. Like Miami store, X demo, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I mean,
VD says the theater is just ugly. Heard too much about wings vibrating. Also, that's not the wings, brother. If depends on what's the theater mounted on. 90% of the time, it's the screen. If it's on a VESA mount. with their SMI interface. It's the screen that rattles. And if the wings vibrate, then whoever put that together doesn't know how to use a screwdriver and tighten the shit properly, because I don't have that issue with mine. In the beginning, there was some rattling, but not. I don't have a problem with any of my wings rattling. And even though I have the 90s, I have a speaker group where I just have the theater, and I don't got no rattling. I used to have rattle inside the panel, but that got fixed when I took the back wall, the back panel off of the screen, and dampened it. But no. But then again, if it's ugly to you, that's, it's six of one to half dozen the other. It's your personal preference.
Yeah.
Some people prefer salmon over a steak. Go for you.
I mean, some people have it, some people don't. I don't know why. Mine never did. I was very worried about the wings potentially rattling after moving, because when I put them on, they never did, right? And then you take those screws out of those plastic and you put them back in, and like you try not to over tighten anything, that you just rip the plastic up. And so far, it's fine. Yeah, your 3M tape hack works. Your
the hockey tape, or the Tessa tape rather.
Yeah.
Divine Style Gaming says, can't push myself to upgrade the theater when I lose the styling of the harmony. I completely agree. Harmony is definitely, it has that true B&O feel to it, where there's not much magic with the theater other than the stand rotates like it did on a MX 2000 back in the mid 80s. Basically, that was the magic, so boo hoo. Could they have done planetary stand? In my opinion, I think yes. The problem with the planetary stand is that now you would have to have, just like for the Avant, you would have to have 2 or 3 different variants based on the screen size, because you would need that platter to be heavy as fuck.
Yeah, and if you only do one, you need the biggest that's stable, and then it's going to look really weird with 55, because it's going to be enormous.
Yeah, so it's just that's one thing that kind of, I guess, is what it is. But yeah, I do agree with the opening of the wings and stuff. It's a very sexy TV, 100%.
Oh, I love my Harmony, but I sold it or changed it for the theater partially exactly for the reason that you guys are facing in the shop, right? It's the shipping of it.
Yes. Once you have it in the house and it works properly, it'll die with you. But if it died before, don't resurrect it.
I mean, I was absolutely. I mean, I think I was wise in selling it, because seeing how my 50s arrived, right?
Oh fuck, man! You would have issues, man. You'd probably pay that Harmony twice over with trying to get it fixed and going.
Yeah.
Or at least going enough to get rid of it, right? So you're eating damage anyways. So
it's it's one of these things. It's yeah. It's a bit of but the Harmony, yeah, I love it. If you don't have any need for Atmos, but you do have a need for like DTS or
DTS, yeah,
then the Harmony is probably a better choice. I mean, could they upgrade it? Sure, but you're gonna get like market confusion. So I think that if they do something else, they'll do something properly else, not like a 2.0 version. Because
100%.
Yeah, it's just it's a limiting chassis in many ways. And you're just gonna get the confusion of like, what are you actually buying? Is this the one with the Atmos or without the Atmos?
BD says, is it hard to transport the Harmony? Is it just mounting the screen off and close the mechanism? Is it as heavy as theater? I guess. Transporting Harmony is an absolute pain in the fucking ass, bro, because you can't just move it like. Depends where. If you move it within the house or in the environment that you already have it set up, then you just use the skates and it rolls around, no problem.
The skates are wonderful. They're so nice because the Harmony base is 80 kilos, right? Just the mechanism with the wings, no screen.
So there's your answer to the weight. So moving 80 kilos around the house on skates, it's absolutely no problem. but those skates are not going to save your ass if you're moving houses. And every time we do that I've had the privilege to move people with the Harmony twice now. We use our store demo box and put the thing in the box, proper strapped, fucking screwed it, because there's on the bottom of the styrofoams, there's these two uh, wooden supports that are specifically made for those two the piston pipes, whatever the actuators to slide over, and they sit in there, and you actually screw them secured in that spot, and then you build the whole box around with the styrofoams. Then you strap it down, and then you just move it like that, and that's already close to 100 kilos because the pallet's about 10 to 15 plus
I mean,
packaging. So
if you're slightly careful with it, right? Like, it's not that hard to move. It's just heavy.
yeah, but you can't just have movers roll in there, fucking put a couple moving blankets around the speakers and grab it and move it. Like,
Yeah,
that'll
because
never.
you want to grab it by
again,
the bottom of the wing. That's like where your hand goes if you want to lift it anyway.
Naturally,
and then you're just going to bend the whole thing.
Yeah, no, you need to grab it by there's a specific place where you can grab it by where the pipe comes out and then the wing assembly comes in. That's where you grab it, and you grab it by the actuator to support.
The way I skimmed on like price and stuff is saying to my dealer, like, you don't need to hire somebody. I'll come help you do it because I like doing it anyway. So we installed my Harmony together. But like, he had to unpack it at the bottom of the stairs because my apartment was like, the lift situation was weird, right? Like, in between 3 floors is where a lift exit was. And like, so you came out to like a landing. We unpacked it there and then had to go up like that and like lifted it. And it's like, weight wise, it was doable for 2 people, but it was like, it's really strange how to like hold it without like putting any pressure on those front wings.
Yeah, it's a tricky TV to move around and maneuver. That's 100%. But once you get it going and it all works, it's fine. It definitely it's no issues. But yeah, it's a heavy sucker. So I don't know.
It's it's one of these things. It's yeah. I mean, I still like the Harmony. It's not exactly hard. I mean, the theater by comparison is super easy and it's really light. Like, it's not light. It's still 20 kilos or something.
But it's manageable by one person. Like, I can.
You can carry it just like that in the box, right?
I don't have an issue.
With the Harmony.
Yeah, I don't have an issue putting together, a theater. I don't care what size it is. It's just once it gets past 65 or 55 inches, it's really hard because you have this much on 65, and you have to have somebody in the back to pull the cables through the SMI because it's really tough to do it otherwise.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I have one of these flat wall mounts for my 83-inch panel on the wall, right? Like, and whilst I can lift the thing and move it by myself, I can't hang it. Like, I don't have the dexterity to like manipulate it that minutely. That is a 2-person job.
Yes,
because my 83 is like that far off the wall.
And because you got the LEDs behind it, right?
Yeah, not just that, but it's also like the I have one of these wall mounts that is like one wide row, and you can sort of move it side to side when it's hung. But to hang it, you have to angle it at like 15 degrees and hang it down, and then it clicks in.
Yeah.
But like I can sort of do that, but then I can't like do that properly with like bending the whole thing.
It's too much. Yeah. No, it's too much. I totally agree. I don't do anything past 55 inches by myself. I don't like doing that.
I mean, the 77 on the Harmony with the SMI was sort of easy, but you still have to be like very like sort of careful that those hooks go correctly, because you can grab the bottom one and not the top one, or vice versa. And I mean, you have to kind of be in sync, right? Because you have to like modern screens are quite flexible.
Oh yeah, they are. They're definitely. I think the worst ones are Samsung, because when you pick them up, they crackle, crinkle, and shit.
I have a C panel. A C panel is probably worse because the top of it is like that thick, right?
No, like, I know. Those are scary.
Like, I remember lifting it, and you feel the top of the screen just going like, eee. It's like, oh.
How much more can it go? Fuck. Yeah, no, they're Harmonies are fun, but they're definitely It's a proper pain in the ass B&O TV to install. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but it's a good TV, and if
It's a good TV. Again, when it comes to the rattle for the theater, if you live in North America and you have a theater mounted in the apartment building on your wall, you're fucked, because the walls are metal studs, and then whatever is been thrown inside that wall during the construction of that entire building will come alive. And the first time you tune the microphone, it'll come alive. You'll hear everything, all the conduit and Lumex and stuff dancing between the studs. So personally, in my opinion, if I were to do it properly, I would fill the entire cavity of that wall with insulation of some sorts.
Could be you DM me. I responded. I would love to show your video. I just don't have Facebook, so since it requires a login, sorry. Maybe screen record it and I'll show it through Discord or something. Happy to do that. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's I just don't have Facebook. If it's on Instagram, it's fine. If it's on anywhere else, it's fine.
Do you have a Discord video with Harmony having issues when opening? I never
what sort
really
of
took a
issues?
video. Yeah,
I had it like don't get me wrong. I've had them in the beginning because they did
springs.
change. Yeah, they changed the springs, and because initially it was really much designed for 65 and kind of 77, but they didn't get the weight right of the LG screens, and because obviously the panels are on a lever arm effectively when you do anything like that, right? And the mechanism in the middle, it's a force multiplier, and the springs weren't strong enough. So every time they were sort of here, it would go, and it was mostly silent. It was you could hear it, but only if you paid attention to it, right? If you just, I don't know, click off and walked away, you wouldn't hear a thing. So I've seen that. If there's any other sort of issues, generally it's something rubbing in terms of the cables on the back two poles.
My theater started cracking the other day. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's the Velcro. When the loom little bits shifts, the Velcro, the hooks in it go. So it needed to get fixed because there's no way I can't have that. But yeah, anything over time will work itself. The only thing that I would recommend from personal experience is to zip tie the fuck out of these cables when they're coming into the sound center, because over time there is a likelihood that they will work themselves and you may have a disconnection or whatever else have you.
I got the video up. Let's see. That sounds like a cable or something somewhere.
Bro, but you gotta dust your shit.
Yeah, it also...
I don't hear it, hold on.
It's sort of... It almost sounds like a cable.
That is the panels. And I don't know if that's in a dealer's shop or whatever. I watched the videos on how to fix that. Oh my god, I would shave my kneecaps and my head before I would have to do that. Because you got to take out some of the lamellas out and like this whole assembly, and there's a little jig and it needs to be refit. That's all it is.
It also looks like they're slightly misaligned to me.
A little bit.
And looking at the separation of the gap, it looks like the actuator legs are going slightly too high by like a few millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a dealer in product healthcare, you can set how high and how low the actuators go for like precision.
And that divides down to 1,000th of a millimeter, apparently.
Yes, I've had that, and like your dealer can do that remotely for you. Because mine initially was fine, and then after like the first, I don't know,
It works
1,000
itself,
up and
yeah.
downs, right? It was
Yeah.
too low, where like the gap, like the panels were going sort of that way at the top. And I told my dealer, can it come up, and like you do it 5-10 times, and he adjusted remotely, and then like it was perfectly aligned. And
Yeah.
then we did the same when the panels were like ever so slightly like this, so it didn't go up as much. So that's all adjustable. Like it's
That TV is completely adjustable. It's depends on how bad the adjustments are needed. Because some of them are absolutely terrible because you have to take a board out from the panels in order to realign. If it's I forget which side or part, but there's one that definitely the laughter dies on it. Let me make another cup of coffee here.
whatever this sound is, that's it's not concerning to me. It's absolutely adjustable, and you can get rid of it.
I
And I
would
understand
honestly, for
it's
the sake of
annoying to do it.
experiment,
Yeah.
take off the panels. Take off the panels from the TV and then turn it on and off again and see if it opens and closes and it creaks. If it doesn't creak, then you know for a fact that it's the panels. The wood's dried up and there's a little bit too much tension on it when it moves around because it still flexes just a little bit, and that's your creaking. It's just the same thing like on an old boat, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But if the wood panels are gone and it's still creaking, then you have an issue somewhere else. It could be just that there's not enough grease on certain parts.
What it honestly, why I said it sounds like cables to me, because I've had this, right? Because the where my plugs and stuff were in the back, if you're looking at it, it comes out to the right most often,
Yeah,
and then you go down that way or that way. But there is that sort of roller bearing thing for the loom on the back,
yeah,
and I
yeah. The
didn't
little.
use that. That is a better thing to use if you can use it. But also
Yes.
you have to remember, right? Like if you have 5 cables that come out like that, like this, they have different lengths. So when it goes up, these cables change their lengths at different rates. So, but since they're in that loom, they're like pulling past each other, and all Ethernet cables have this sort of weird rubbery texture that can make noise.
Yeah, they squeak a little. Squeaky toys.
By the way, this is the the Ethernet cable from the theater.
Updated. Oh, call this. That's a new one.
It's
Yeah.
horrible. I cannot even run internet on this. I tried it the other day on my computer. It goes on, off, on, off, on, off. Like I'm looking down, right? Like, and you see wired
Maybe
internet,
it's your
and it's
internet,
like,
bro.
no, because I took out a Cat 5e cable, and it's steady the whole time.
I think the problem is the connectivity. It doesn't catch all the pins all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I've tried everything because I have wired internet in my office now, finally. I mean, it looks like a nice cable, but like, it's shit.
Yeah, I have a trust issue with those wires. And quite honestly, it doesn't need to be shielded and all that, the Vatican edition. Like you can regular Cat 6 wire will work just fine because you're supplying nothing but network into the bloody
Strange.
LG panel. Yeah.
I mean, I actually, because I didn't have anything else, I think currently I have a Cat 5e cable just between the panel and the theater, and it's fine.
Bro, I had to drive 2 hours to do that, take it off the fucking wall and change the wire from the theater because we used, not stupid, but stupid now if you think about it. Like we shouldn't have ever used that supplied cable. And that was the last lesson that I've ever used that cable. I stick to just, you know what, here's a $10 Cat 6. It works just as fine. Well, it works better because it does versus the supplied one.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's always a thing. It's Divine Cell Gaming says for some reason using HDMI preset coupled to an Apple TV 4 using Beano settings app, the speaker won't produce any test signal. Yeah, there's a weird thing where it when it's attached to the sound center, it can't ignore it for some reason. And I think it's partially because like everything goes through that HDMI cable, including like CEC and that sort of thing. And when it's native apps on the screen, it sort of goes, "We don't need you. We can make all the sounds we want."
Yeah, well, but if you're setting the sounds levels in the theater, I mean, in a harmony, you do it through the B&O app within the panel itself. That should generate tones or pink noise, whatever.
Yeah, but
whatever it's called.
God, it's been a long time. But if I remember correctly, if you went to that when your Apple TV was playing, it would keep the Apple TV sound playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's been 3 years now, but I think I've had that too. But it depended on whether the Apple TV was attached to the screen or to the sound center. And mine was attached to the sound center. So it's weird things, but like just I don't know, just go to the like home and just don't use any source. No switching is better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm hoping for something to replace the harmony. It's the writing's on the wall, and now they definitely have to get an EOL on it because they introduced the title in support for all the ASC. So
yeah, the software is done. It must be done.
The software is done, so the stage has to go. It has to go now because it fully works, and so does the harmony has to go because it also fully works. So we'll see what the 100th centennial thing will bring. I hope it's not just some different funky colors and such, but we are in a need of a new product. They definitely need to come up with a subwoofer that connects into the Lab 8s and 28s through DPL. That needs to be a soft a problem or an issue that needs to be resolved, or the market hole that needs to be filled, because the 19 is starting to become very limited to what you can use it with at this point of time.
Yeah. Look, regardless, I am slightly befuddled where we're already in the 100th year, right? Like, why is there so little fanfare? Like, I truly don't get it. Like, the last big celebration was 90. Like, and this is, depending on how you calculate, it's either the oldest or the second oldest audio company in the world, right?
Mm.
And what have we got so far? Headphones. Like the speaker company made headphones to celebrate them being a hi-fi company. It's like, okay. Like, is B&O just a headphone company now, essentially, as a result of their 100th? I mean, I'm not even saying you need to top the 90s, right? But, like, there's essentially nothing.
No.
I mean, I haven't looked in a while, but let's have a look at Instagram, see if they have anything festive over there. I don't see it on their website either. Right? Like, so to be blunt, there's fuck all going on.
Yeah, it's like it's not even 100th year.
I mean, and then I guess you can say, well, our like book year is from half, like was it June or July 1st or whatever to the next year over. It's like, okay, so is everything just going to come in August? Because it won't be available in August.
Business year, yeah. I don't care your business year. Like this is your actual anniversary.
And then your other release period is December, maybe, which means you won't be able to get it to. What, January, February, depending on what it is?
So you're not gonna celebrate the birthday, but the conception, I guess.
Yeah.
9 months later.
So is it 101 that we need to care about? Because they absolutely cared about 90, right?
Yes.
Like there was a lot of shit about 90. Even, I mean, 95 was sort of like overlooked a bit.
Semi big deal, but not really.
But that makes sense because it's sort of like this weird non-10 divisible thing. Like, I mean, for the same reason, turning 45 is not the same as turning 50, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. I mean, and are we just rebuilding old stuff again? Or is that it? Like, you're known for innovation and stuff, and I'm not even saying you need to be innovative, but something new would be nice.
Why don't you just make a freaking turntable from scratch? You know, you have all the tech. You've obviously are able to at least reverse engineer the 4000C. It's not that much. I'm sure that the capabilities that you have in producing machining these parts now would be no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, if nothing else, you would think it was easier.
100th anniversary is going to be Beosound A1 Gen 3. Oh, God. Wouldn't that be sad?
Yeah.
It's it's a heartache. I think there should be a little bit more. There should be a little bit more about it on the. I think they're more preoccupied with their Ferrari.
I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, right? But like we're at 100 now, and there's literally nothing all this year, and we're like 4 months in, and like look back at Instagram, there's like almost no festivities whatsoever. I mean, the 9000C was last year, so that was 99. It's like, did you guys not expect it to make it to here or something? Like, what's going on?
They're scrambling probably. Holy shit, it's already 100. I don't understand it. I think there should be more.
I mean, on the website, I don't see a mention of it either, other than the H100s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even that is like, we're back to like the speaker company making headphones as a celebration. It's like, like, I mean, even if you don't have a bunch of products, which like there can be reasons for that, sure. But there's like even the marketing is like dead silent. Like it's maybe an Instagram picture a week. Like we're not even showing off any heritage, right? Like you've made so much shit over the years. You can do a picture a day for the rest of the year.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, like where's the where it all began with spatial design, and where's the hyperbow? Like it's not here. Like you have a few people where I have no clue who they are.
And you got the atelier nerd there doing this thing. See that harmony with that cover on the 90s, that samurai shit, that is sexy as hell.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell too.
Yeah, but that's brilliant looking though.
Because even LDS says they lost 100 million last year with the price hikes. So did $100 million? No, DKK. That's Danish kroner. Like B&O is not a $1 billion company.
Yeah, if they lost 100 million, we wouldn't be doing the podcast anymore here. I don't think, because it wouldn't be no content.
No,
this would be a Skype
I would be amazed, right? Like if they had that much money to lose, because that would mean that they surely at least are $1 billion company, like 1 billion kroner, sure.
Yeah, there's no way they lost. You're misreading that, I think.
Yeah, it's not you. Like most of what they project is in DKK, almost all of it actually. So I mean, I know they was it a loss last year? I think so. Let's see. 100. What is 100 million DK?
$100.
It's They lost $15 million last year.
Some money.
Yeah, but not $100 million, right? Like, like what did they do? Like, build like 1,000 90s and gave them away?
Fuck. Yeah, I know.
So where? Let's see. How many zeros are we? Because Danish kroner is this sort of fake money.
Yeah, there 2.5 billion Danish kroner was a turnover.
Yeah, but like 13 kroner is $1 or something like that, or 14. So it's one of these odd numbers to divide by, right?
Mm-hmm. They only work 10 months out of the year, and then and when they do work, half the people have nothing to do. You could run the whole company with 200 people. Only 2,000 sitting around.
First of all, there's not 2,000
that,
people in. There's only like
no.
800 or 900 people at B.
Yeah, they've streamlined that nonsense quite a bit since the yesteryears of having meetings about meetings. But I think that what they actually should, in my opinion, expand on the employees, and specifically with the app and software development, because that is now 90% of the product.
But the last time they were a 2,000-person company was like, God, 5-6 years ago, if not longer.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because I remember like 2 years ago, they went from 1,200 or so to 1,000, and then last year somewhere they went from 2 years ago they went from 900 for 1,000 to 900, and I think they streamlined it even more to like 800 and a bit or something.
I think they got, well, I don't think they have more people working for them in the Czech factory, but there is a bunch of people working there in their assembly plant in Czech Republic. I forget the name of the city now.
I was $1 6.57 DKK. Maybe I was confused with the Swedish kroner or something, because
Probably.
all you guys have kroner, and it's all so weird. Because it's all like fake monopoly money.
It's fake monopoly money. It says in 2013-14 there was 2,400 employees.
Yeah, so that's like slightly over a decade ago. That's a long ass time ago.
Paul says, if anyone else has a beta software update email, I've checked and nothing came to any of my products. All mine are stereo paired. I unpaired still nothing. Any ideas to post what software versions you have, or what is it that you have? There was a beta update. I got it. Weirdly enough, I got a notification that the beta update is available for my app. And I don't know if they mistyped it, because it was supposed to be, well, they're saying it's 6.6.0. whatever, right? And in my Android shop, my app is right now at 6.6.1. whatever change.
Don't forget that if you're on the beta, you may get these emails, right? And they may push it out. And if you're not quick enough, there may be a reason for that you cannot see it because they pulled it.
I find every time I get an email, the product is already, the software is already self-installed on my, because usually I get it during the day. And when I get in to my house through the PHC to look, it's already up to date. And every odd time that I come home that I have to restart the theater in order for the update to apply. But no, so far so good. I wish that they cleaned up the Halo remote. It's so messy with when you tie in the BLI with these extra windows that are completely unnecessary. And also, I don't know what the fuck y'all did, but it is just way too sensitive to touch now. Not good. I started noticing it lately that it's a little too touchy. But yeah. So much for the beta updates. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking in dollars, like real money, what their turnover is. I'm doing math.
But yeah.
I mean, the Halo was launched as an audio remote, right?
Oh God.
And it kind of still is, but it almost feel like they even stepped away because they initially very much said like it's an audio remote, therefore it won't do the TV. Now it does the TV, but they kind of say, well, audio, it's kind of more homey.
Yeah, it's a home automation panel now, more or less, or a keypad.
Yeah, like they almost didn't understand what they made, I guess.
I think that the original idea was something that would replace somewhat functionality of the BeoSix. But I also think that they missed the mark with it. I don't know if it's powerful enough hardware wise inside to do a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
Like maybe that is the limitation why we are not able to browse not even playlists or as lists of playlists, let alone to go inside the playlist to pull that metadata.
Who knows? Maybe it was accountant led again, where they say like your SOC can only be X amount of dollars, and therefore you end up with something that by the time you use it is already a few years old, and it's similar to the moment, right? By the time it came out, the SOC was kind of already not that new. It was already a few years old. It's a tablet in a tablet sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still functional somehow, but it wasn't exactly like high tech.
I agree with Max. Even if the strategy works for B&O, they should be a Porsche for audio. Porsche of audio as they were in 2000s, not Bugatti. Really sad to see this stuff becoming more and more out of reach. I agree. I definitely agree.
Though I must say, Porsches are also getting really, really expensive.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And Porsches here in this country, like, you find any decent Porsche, it's going to be 200 grand.
Or you can just buy an electric one secondhand for $35.
Let's see.
They don't hold value, worth nothing. Traded for the bus fare.
Let's see. What's the cheapest new Porsche? The absolute cheapest is the shitty Macan. And it's like 61 grand, and that is completely optionless.
Optionless car.
Like it has nothing, right? It doesn't have the magnetic ride. It's like as basic as Porsche will give it to you, meaning you have all the fake buttons that just don't do anything in the center console.
It's a fucking Touareg with a Porsche logo on it, more or less.
The cheapest 911 in this country is 130 grand pre-tax.
Yeah, no, they're. I don't know why Montreal is a very much, I would say, a Porsche city. There is a lot of Porsches here.
Well, it drives well and it's put together well. Yeah. Oh, Sandy also said pre-tariff as well. Yeah, so I don't know.
Another more money on it.
Yeah, 10-ish%.
Fuck. Oh man,
it's I sort of understand the goal of it all, but it is kind of annoying that it's sort of a mess. And I mean, on a B&O scale to this, I really do not understand how like B&O just doesn't say like this seems like a US problem. Why don't we just do this for the US only? Because like it's not like, or maybe North America even, like include Canada into it, even though it's not tariffed, right? Like just to like profit gouge a bit. But it's not like they sell that much of their total here anyway. Like, why are you making this everybody's problem?
Yeah.
And that's the part I really don't understand on a B&O level. Because people go like, yeah, but why is it more expensive here? It's a simple explanation. It's like the government decided this. Like, but if you go to like a store in the UK or the Netherlands or whatever, and they ask like, why is this going up? And you go like, well, because the US tariffed Europe. It's like, okay, but I am in Europe, and so is Denmark, and so is B&O. It's like, why are we getting that? It's like, yeah, I don't know.
Everybody does. That's it.
I mean,
I agree with Max. They're using tariffs as an excuse to raise prices. Even nothing to do with tariffs. Honestly, I see that as well. I understand. Yeah, most of the stuff is, assembled, or boards are coming from China or whatever. And now I think there's a way that the US is going around, or Vietnam, I think, or whoever is going around making boards that are made there, that they actually are now tariffing it by the point of origin, not the point of assembly. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've just been listening to too much of this tariff shit lately. But
Look, we will when we will know for 100% fact, which we already kind of know, right? That this has nothing to do with tariffs. If they change the importing route to Canada, if they change that to go direct, like if they set up B&O Canada or whatever, or some sort of office with like 2 people in it, just for the records of importing it directly into Canada. Like, absolutely it has nothing to do with the tariffs, because then it's just price gouging. Because like Canada is not tariffed, right? Like it's tariffed by the US, but not by B&O.
Yeah, that's as I could buy 2 Model S Teslas and still wouldn't cover the price of the repair of pair of the 90s. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust charging those fucking things in my garage. I tell you what.
I could buy two Model S Teslas and still wouldn't cover the price of one pair. I thought you said repairs. Like, wait, have repairs become that expensive? No. Sorry, I misread that.
No, that's a pair.
Yeah, but I mean, arguably Teslas have audio by former B&O.
Do they?
Yeah, a bunch of former B&O sound techs work for Tesla, and they did the sound, the speaker design in the car.
Interesting.
To the point where, like, Musk even tweeted out at B&O like 2 years ago, something like that, 3 years ago.
Interesting. Well, it's too late now, because now they fucking draw swastikas and shit on him here.
Yeah. Same here.
It feels bad. Feels bad.
I mean, the weird part is that most of the people that own them are quite liberal, and other liberals are putting like swastikas on it.
I know, it just makes no sense. Like, he's already got enough feel bad on him because he's now owing the car that is no good in the terms, I guess.
Yeah.
But now you get it all fucked up by some goofball, which who doesn't realize that these things have a sentry mode, so everything's recorded.
Yeah.
You know.
If you severely like what we're saying or disagree with us, give a thumbs up. That's apparently how it works. It's only positivity.
Oh, God. But yeah, I don't know. I just, if the shit would hit the fan, I wouldn't want to be stuck and dependent on an electric car. That's 100%. And even considering the fact, like, me traveling from Calgary to Montreal, it would take me 2 weeks or a week and a half to get here.
It would definitely take you longer, but I don't think it would be that much, because, like, Tesla specifically, right, in their satellite navigation, routed to the most efficient charging stream of driving there.
Fuck, I don't know how they're gonna do that around Ontario, man. It took me 2 days to go through Ontario in a regular car.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really pay attention to the charging stations, but I didn't think that I'd see that many. I didn't see that many Teslas on the highway with me.
I mean, at least in this country, they're everywhere, and this is more impressive than the cars, right? Is the charging network, because like it's so tactically thought out on routes and how to go everywhere. It's almost like the Tesla car is sort of like, it's a car, but it's the network that gets you everywhere, and I think that's where, like, sort of almost because the Tesla navigation knows where all the Tesla charging stations are, right? But it also knows how fast it charges and if it's free to use. So it's the infrastructure on that is insane. And like you can go from here to, I don't know, Seattle, right? And it'll literally tell you where the optimal time to charge is and how much to charge. And how much time it would take you to charge. I mean, it's a pain in the ass because you're not used to it coming from a gas car. And yes, it will take you longer, but like on a let's say from here to Seattle, if that's a 3-day trip, it'll add like half a day, maybe a day, which is still, I mean, it's more, right? But it's not as bad. But you are standing still a lot more of the time.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those that,
I don't know. Here in the US, anyway, like people go like, "Oh, something's close. It's only 2 hours away."
Yeah, we have a different math of distance
Yeah.
or understanding of distance math here than in Europe. That's for sure. Because for me to go to see a client that's 2 hours away, and I'm in a fucking different country where I was born, if not,
Yes.
if not third into the third one. Forgotten. Yeah, so it's different, Like Slovakia is a shorter of a country than me going from Calgary to Kelowna to service my client.
Yeah.
By 3 hours drive.
I mean, 12 hours out of Slovakia, you're either like in like in Greece or in Italy.
No, I don't think it would be that. No, I think the you would probably make it. You would probably make it across the entire Hungary to Romania. I think that would be the from when we did travel, because I remember back in the day, that was during the Yugoslavian war. We went to Greece for a vacation and we took the bus, and yeah, it was a 36-hour drive on a bus, continuous. It was fucking endless, man. And the amount of beer and food and shit that we had handed out to the check stops, like the UN check stops, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, if I remember right, but this is like in a car, right? And so you're going faster, and it's through Germany with the Autobahn and that sort of thing. I think from Utrecht to like northern Italy was like 14 hours or so.
Fuck.
Which is like pretty much across Europe. And here, if I drive 14 hours, I'm, northern Tennessee? Something like that.
Yeah.
Because
when I drove to Florida, it took me 5 days, and I did 1,000 kilometers a day.
Yeah.
Which was 9.5 to 10 hours of driving at the most, because I didn't want to go in the dark. There's been a few places that I went in the dark, and it's I don't like that, because you never know what shit will pop out of the bushes, and depends how big it is. It'll ruin your either headlights, grill, or you as well.
Yeah, that's the Smoky Mountains for me. Next month I'll be gone for a week, maybe 2 weeks, just FYI, because grandfather-in-law is moving and need to help, but he lives in like northern Illinois.
Speaking of driving, it's not that far.
It's only 1,200 miles, right? Which is like 2,000 kilometers.
Yeah, fuck, you'll get it done in 3 days.
Well, I'll be flying up there, but at some point with some stuff that we need to take, we'll have to be driving down, which is with stops for food. It's like a 27-hour drive. And we tend to do it in one go.
Nothing more uncomfortable than driving a U-Haul across the country.
Especially for me, because the basic U-Haul is too small. Like, I feel like my knees are under my armpits. The cabin is made for somebody that's like 160 centimeters tall.
I would, at that point, like they take in a small cube, I would just look at how much would it cost to just ship a 8-foot pot container.
Yeah, we may, depending on a few things, and also how much
you save so much brain damage with that shit.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a drive, quite honestly. But we'll be doing it, most likely doing it in a car. So that's the thing, right? If we need much more, we may look into one of these pod things.
Yeah, so you're not gonna drive in a U-Haul with your fucking stereo paired A1s rocking it to Tampa.
Yeah, there's also things that we need to ship that are not YouTube friendly. So the pod thing may be like disqualified because of that. Evening, Les.
So, yeah.
It's
gonna be fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a farmer, right? So it's a big property that And this is why I don't know how long I'm going to be gone for, but it's probably going to be maybe 10 days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how it goes. So just FYI, next month, I'll let people know once we're close to what the plan is.
Yeah, maybe we won't be there next week because we can't figure out like goddamn teams.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Could be worse. You never know. So
jolly.
That's it.
It's again. Me and B&O hasn't done much recently, but
no, they make it hard to talk about new things because there ain't any, and I know there is a couple of new ones coming out, but it's just not the time to talk about it. And the only thing that there is to talk about is the pricing, which is the price increase.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're gonna get a new product, right? But it's not that new and not that exciting.
No, it's just a re-release for now, in my opinion. But,
yeah, so I mean, even in the front website, we're like 100 years old, and okay.
And here's an Explorer in Bonfire Orange.
Yeah,
because we're on fire, bro.
I mean, they even tell you that it's been since 1925, but like apparently we don't really care that it's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe a slightly odder question, but generally, right? And I already thought the H100s at $1,500 or euro were a stretch. At $300 more, like I like him, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't like him that much. I don't like him $1,800 much.
See, I don't know what to say to that because I'm not a headphone guy. So for me, like they're not a pivotal role in my music enjoyment, right? Like for me,
Yeah.
and also I'm not a over the ear guy. For me, I guess if they're gonna come up with a $1,500 set of the earbuds, then I might be like, God, this man, that's a little steep. That's a little steep. And if they're gonna be whatever they are, if that's what there is, if it's coming, because I'm sure that E11s is not the last of it, as far as or 11s, Beoplay 11s isn't the last earbuds that they're gonna come up with, and I think that they're going to move into that Amadeus Amadeus platform for the headbuds. I don't know if it's even if all the.
I think it's all going to be unified, essentially.
I think it's all going to be unified at the end.
It's the same what they're doing with the speakers. It's going to be a universal platform, whatever the platform is going to be named. It used to be ASE, but now everything's moving to Mozart. I mean, on that basis, the 18s won't last that long. The 50s and 90s may be slightly different because they're in a different category. But I bet you they would want it to Mozartify it. It's just like it doesn't make any sense to do it.
No.
But like, I mean, I've been using my H100s more. I really like them, right? Like, but they were also a gift, so it's price wise, it's slightly hard to judge. But I thought they were on the upper end, where it was just about worth it. But if they're now going to be $300, €250, €300 more, like, whoa, that is steep. That is steep, right?
Yeah.
That is like I can go on vacation to Spain steep for most of Europe.
Yeah, but you're going to listen to the kids screaming in the plane, bro.
Yeah, but you can put your $15 earbuds in and you're still in Spain.
Fair enough.
Max says, I don't know anyone else feel this sense of losing the passion in the company. Everything is starting to feel like a fever dream rather than something to work towards. The current direction is tough to follow. Yeah, I agree with that slightly. I mean, it's on purpose, right? Like, and whilst we can all agree or disagree, it's like they purposely are going for the very high net worth individuals and
the ultra rich, yeah.
Essentially, the people with, I forget where the cutoff point was, but roughly like 10 million a year or something or more. which was never their forte to begin with. But, and if I remember their research right, it's like 140,000 people worldwide. That is a narrow-ass window, right? And I'm pretty sure anybody that has time to spend on YouTube is essentially not in it. I bet you 1% of that 1% have time to like watch us on YouTube and things like that.
For a few more minutes, and then they move on to making money somewhere else.
Yeah, because just time pressures, right? Like none of these jobs that make this much, unless you're maybe a professional athlete, like you don't have the time. Like, yeah. And most likely these people like their jobs, but like it's. I've known over the years quite a few people with jobs like these, but like to do anything for just for fun is hard, right? And even like these people have no off switch essentially. Mm-hmm. Like they're impressive in many different ways, and the money generally isn't it, but the money is a reflection of how they are, because these people will go all the goddamn time. And yeah, we're all of us, I think, that are watching this are like either too old or too young to be in that group. Mm-hmm. Sanip says, my dealer told me this week their sales have been largely unaffected by the recent price rises. Yeah, but it's also London, right? Like, London is one of these weird places in the world where like everything is either expensive or not expensive enough. And by that, I literally mean where people go like, your house is only like 3 million? Ugh.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's similar to like New York or Miami, right? If look on the like realtor.com or something, the amount of places that are over 10 million, like they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
It's like they're everywhere. It gets spectacular when you go over, let's say, 40 million, which are also all over the place, which is crazy. So yes, you can probably survive as a brand in there, but I mean, what you do everywhere else? Like, I mean, to that point, like, how many customers can you actually have in Denmark? Like, how many people make that kind of money in Denmark? Not that many.
Yeah, I think gone are the days where you're going to go for a factory tour and you peek into the people's windows and you see a pair of 28 sticking in the windows like they used to be with the 8000s.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to have that money, because now that's a lot more. That's a car more. God is.
I mean, even on a slightly odd angle, right? Like, as most companies, and I don't know if most people know this, but like, you can expect, especially when you're this proud of the stuff you do, you have an employee discount on stuff. Makes sense, right? With prices as this are, and the employee discount being a percentage, can your employees even afford it with the discount? Because let's say you get...
I'm the only one, like out of all of the installers, I'm the only one that has the current products.
Yeah, but even if you work at like management, right, or like slightly below management, like let's say you get 50% off a 90s. Like, there's no way you make more than that. You can just spend like 100 grand in the year, right? So that's your employee discount. It's like, God.
Yeah, no, they're out of reach for employees no matter what. Like, unless you win them in some sort of a sales competition, but that's not something that ever has been.
Because I know employees back in the day that bought them because, like, you could, because they were somewhat affordable with the employee discount, right? And it's steep. And it makes sense as a company that, like, it's the pride and you share it around, and people tend to stick longer when you're, like, disinvested. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, oh, man, it's too much. Like, unless they put, like, an 80% employee discount on stuff, which I doubt they'll do.
Yeah, but for me, I guess the equivalent would be the same, like me going into a Rolex store now.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when I bought my Submariner, the gold two-tone, I paid $12,000 for it back in 2004. That watch is now what, maybe 30 grand, if not more.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but like for me, it's like, fuck, man, this is how much I paid. But if I were to go and get another Rolex, I'm sure I'm not gonna be spending the same money that I used to back in the yesteryears, right? So, and also, let's say I would go to IWC to buy a watch, which I hadn't really studied their pricing ever, right? If I go in there and I like this watch, and fuck, that's what it is then. So, Tesla audio agents come from B&O and many other companies. They literally, what is it?
Rock.
Oh, rock. Our system is highly programmable, so we keep improving via OTA codec updates. Okay.
I mean, it's interesting that a man like Elon Musk at least knows who B&O is.
Oh, 100% he knows. I'm sure that they've had some back in South Africa when he was living there, or even wherever.
Yeah, or maybe during
else.
the tech bubble, right? Or like the housing crisis, like when everybody was making money like water. Because B&O was making money like water in that time frame.
Oh, yeah.
And there was also more representation in this country and in Canada than there is now.
Well, I remember back in the yesteryears of B&O, there were 5 stores.
Yeah.
One in Vancouver, one in Calgary,
all the big
Toronto,
cities,
I believe, 2 in Toronto, and 1 in Montreal.
Yeah. And now there's what, 3? 2?
Now it's Montreal and Vancouver.
Yeah, so 2.
And there is apparently in the stars that the Toronto store is opening soon. But I think that I'm not going to disclose their inner workings because I don't want to disclose stuff that I maybe shouldn't know. But whenever that happens, it will happen. And
yeah. Sushil asked, thoughts, please. Is a pair of 18 and 19 better than a pair of 8s connected to the theater? Also better floor stand or wall mount? It's not fair, that comparison, at all. So an 18 and 19 attached to a theater will be better than 8s. I mean, the fair comparison would be 18s and 19 on a theater or 8s and a 19 on a theater.
Yes.
In which case, the 8s and 19 would win. But on sound quality, right? Like in the pretty, the 18 would win regardless. Floor stand or wall mount for the 18s, it doesn't really matter, though the wall mount is really sexy.
They look nice on the wall, 100%.
I mean, acoustically, it's
once you run the sweep, it corrects itself. That's
it. For the 8s, I think the floor stand looks goofy. It's fine if you put it behind something, but other than that, I would say just wall mounted or have it on the table stand.
I had a good discussion with Julien in our shop, and he really is thinking of we should cut down a stand. I'm like, you know what? I might just do that. So I might cut down one of the floor stand legs to a little lower.
Yeah, just
made like the lap 3 height type of thing, back in the day.
Slightly higher than the 17s.
Yes, I was going to say not as low as 17s, because 17s, they're basically the top of the 17 is your armrest on the couch. Fuck. It's not, they're not tall enough for the surrounds. So I am very curious about that. I just need to find enough coldness in my heart to cut into the B&O's aluminum pipe.
I mean, I guess you know what the price is for the pipe.
Yeah, I don't off by heart, but I can definitely find out. It's not gonna be cheap, for sure. Nothing's cheap. Mostly because that whole mechanism is already pressed into the pipe, right? Or screwed in, whatever. Like it's pre-assembled. It's not just a naked pipe. But
I mean, yeah, it just looks a bit
too tall. For me, it's not even just that it's too tall, but it looks unsafe if bumped.
Yeah. Cinnabone peep.
that's it.
But that's a really nice painting by Magritte, by the way. Send it by people. I mean, yeah, it could be like here. Also, I think they kind of missed it where they could like bend it under and go down. Like still,
I'm sure they have visited that. I don't know. It would look fucking weird if it was bent down to the center of the speaker. Or like
yeah.
bend like the 17s used to be.
No, like bend the pipe, right? Like S bend it to its so it sort of goes under the middle of the speaker and then just straight down.
I don't know. That would look like some fucking Acme pipe.
Maybe. I mean, the table stand looks good to me.
Table stand is decent.
The wall bracket I think is excellent because there's no reason that it specifies that it needs to be high up on the wall, right? It can just be anywhere on the wall. And the ceiling bracket also looks fucking great. I mean, if you're sort of not budget limited because it is slightly more expensive, I would almost say if you're planning on putting it high up for Atmos or like high up on the wall, I would almost say like for the sexy, get the ceiling mount.
Mm-hmm. She was asking, do wings and screens still rattle on the Theater 65 motorized floor stand? Yes, the screen will still rattle because it's fucking LG. But if you pussy screw the wings on, then yes, they're gonna rattle. If you actually properly attach them and make sure that they don't, flick them a few times, so then you don't hear any rattling response to them, then you'll be fine. If you have that issue like mine, because this is obviously one of the first ones, Tessa tape, bro. Put a little bit of Tessa tape on the grooves, and I think I even posted it on the Discord somewhere buried deep now.
Also, if you're gonna have a 19, it's not gonna rattle because the bass will come out of the 19.
And the theater depends where you place it.
Yeah, but
I would put the 19 in the rear.
Sure, but generally most will be still directed.
It'll offload quite a bit. Yeah, it'll offload quite a bit.
And it can, but it's not like you turn it on and it rattles, right? Like you're at significant volumes.
Yes. Yeah. Like when I had the rattle, it was over 65 volume, and that was in the old apartment where I had theater at the front and 18s in the back with the Lab 11, which more or less looked good than did anything, but it still helped the theater quite a bit. But it was rattling. The screen was rattling. I never had the issues with the wings much, but I did have an issue with the screen. So I just took off the entire back panel of the LG. I think it's 11 or 12 screws. You crack it open and just put dampening and stuff in between it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Did you or was it Billy that took out the internal speakers of the LG?
Billy did. Yeah, Billy took out, but that's a C panel. Yeah. You could do it on the G, but I find that it's in the G panel, it's not the speakers. They're pretty padded and they're obviously thin enough already, right? So the metal touches them perfect. And they actually are part of the screws are going through the speakers assembly. But it's where you get the rattle on the G panels is dead center of like if I'm standing in front of the TV, it would be the dead center of the right hand side because the entire power bar or power source port is right here. Mm-hmm. So that rattles because I can't fucking stuff in between the board and the back panel. And then on the back of the left hand side is the input boards.
Yeah.
Right around the edge where the metal meets the plastic, that's when they rattle. That's where I put the Tessa tape, and depends where you are. We have a craft store here called Michael's, and you can go and buy closed cell foam sheets, like 8.5 by 11, and they're, I think, 2 mil thick. You can buy the 5 mil ones, but that's too much. But the 1 mil thick, it's a good quality glue on it as well. And I had used that around the HDMI socketry to put these on, so it over time also compresses itself with the metal, and I don't have any rattling now at all. Well, fuck, I got the 90s going now. So there's really no acoustic rattle at all at this point. It's the rattle that I
It
have
could
from my
rattle, but
neighbors.
it's just your 90s shaking your TV apart.
Yeah, it's you don't hear that shit at all now. But I still use the theater in a triangle mode sometimes, especially when it's a little bit later because I'm across a sheet of plywood and not even plywood, 4 sheets of drywall and a 6-inch stud wall, and then there's their bedroom, right? So
Yeah.
it's not fun with these. It's not like what it used to be in the old apartment where I could fucking give them, and I really miss that. I really miss that. I always regret that I took them out of the box because I don't enjoy them as much as I used to. But that's just where it's at. Maybe in the next spot, they'll be cool. But once I start moving them, I'm gonna start thinking of selling them because that's the whole vicious circle of moving the 90s that you just hate that you hate yourself and it's a fucking disaster. But regardless, even if I sell them or don't sell them, to get them out of this apartment, I have to take the front door off the hinges to get them out in the boxes, like I did the first
Uh, T, I guess, asks for BeoLab 8 or a pair of 28s. I have a fairly large living room and want to fill room with large soundstage. 4 8s, easily.
time. And a 19 depends on what you're driving them with.
Yeah.
At that point, I would just go with the theater because you're gonna have money left over for the theater off of the 2 pairs of 28s.
Yeah. No,
And a
I
19.
mean, as he writes it here, it's either 4 8s or one pair of 28s. So 4 8s, it's really, it's
Much
not
better.
It's a no-brainer, really. The 8s also
Also,
are
is your
like surprisingly good compared to 28s.
yeah.
Yeah, like Cabu says, you can also do one set of 8s, one 19, and one set of 17s. Yeah, works too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's great. It pumps.
Oh yeah, the 19 is a great subwoofer, but it's what? It's pulling on 15 years? No.
Yeah, 2012, 2013, with the same launch as the 18s and
Yeah, yeah,
17.
yeah. So it's 14 years old now. That's crazy. Doesn't look like it at all.
No.
Even the 18s, they don't look like they've been done, 15, 14 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, these are the essentially launch ones.
Yeah, I
Still
got mine
fine.
in 2018. That's when I got mine. After the 90s.
I mean, that's the only sort of saving grace with the price rises, right? It's slightly a fingers crossed because it's all newer tech, but like, I mean, this was extremely expensive when it was launched.
Yes.
In retrospect, it was super cheap, but it's still going and it hasn't missed a beat. I've yet to have any repair done to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, knock on wood, but like,
Yeah, we sold a lot of 18s. I rarely ever see I had one 18 die in Calgary, but that was a power supply failure, so whatever, nothing too tragic. And there was one more that had a WISA module died. That's it. That's all I remember in 13 years of them being in production. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that the new subwoofer is definitely not just due; it's overdue, in my opinion, to be DPLable. WiSA and DPL and PowerLink, I guess, depends on, maybe they'll do all kinds of sorts of RCA inputs to it, like they did with the 19.
I hope it's. I just hope it's bigger than this, right? But I have a feeling they're gonna be more elegant, small, and like maximize driver output and whatever. But I hope it's bigger than this. Like, I hope we get two 10-inch drivers or something.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be smaller.
I don't think so either, but like, I hope.
My guess, it's going to be smaller if it's going to come out. It's going to be smaller, and I think that the theory behind that it would be that you might need more than one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you might want more than one, even with two 10-inch drivers. I mean, after all, I have what? 12 10-inch drivers in my living room.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it's
that's a lot of boom boom.
It's good, but I mean, I could add, I don't know, some 12-inch drivers.
We have some weird. I forget what the brand of that subwoofer is, but it's the size of a camper style wine fridge or a regular fridge. It's big. It's fucking big. It barely fits through the door.
SVS has those types as well.
I don't know what it is, man, but that thing just sweeps the whole fucking entire theater. Because it's in our third party showroom, as I call it, right? It is insanely powerful, but dude, it's the size of, I don't even have anything for the reference here, but it would be the size of like the 90s if you cut off where the crowns meet where the logo is.
Yeah.
Like it's that big of a box.
Yes, I saw those at those audio show as well. It's like, God, we're talking about something this big. It's what, like 60 by 60 centimeters by...
Yeah, it's massive. It barely fits through the door. Like, I guess it's done 31 inches.
Yeah,
excuse me. Just so it fits through the actual entry door in your house, which unfortunately is not a standard size door in Montreal if you live in the older buildings. Because back then they didn't really design for wheelchair access and shit, and you don't need 32 inches to go through the door if you don't have a wheelchair or any of that stuff. Or 90s per se, where I had to take the fucking crowns off of them just to fit them through the doorway. That was a lot of laughs.
Yeah. No, I've heard those giant, like the really big, like the 17 and 20-inch drivers, right? And they are impressive in a sense, but I'm weirdly not impressed by them. Like they make a sound that is almost unpleasing. It's more like they're like...
It's for the bass junkies,
like they're waving air at you, like, right? Like yes. It's a punch of like movement of air. It's not really sound anymore.
Yeah, it's too much,
and it's all the time. It's
not my cup of tea. They're also, the sound is not as clean from them. Yes, you get a lot of bass, but it's still it's all over the map. It's all over the map in my opinion.
But it's more.
But then it's good for movies.
It's almost more pressure than sound, right? Like a lot of it. And half of the sound that you get is everything in your house moving.
No, that's too much. Like I even find now with and it's maybe because of the theater, because I never found the 90s being that bass heavy before. When I ran them off the Avant, they weren't, right?
No, they weren't.
Because now it's just like, fuck, like, how is this that, even, but you can still hear it. But I find now that if I listen to music on the 90s in a moderate volume, it's too much bass, I find.
Yeah, they Mozartified it.
Yeah, it's too much bass on the Mozart. Which, yes, it's cool for the first impressions, but when you do actually live with that product, and, don't get me wrong, they're not something that you can just shake a stick at. Like, these are the most powerful speakers B&O makes. So they, like the P and when you do the podcast or watch podcasts and the PAP filter, when they don't have that, motherfucker, dude. Like, it literally, like, you can hear the wine glasses just go, zoom, zoom. And it hurts your ears because it's such a vivid pop, right?
Yeah, the first time I heard the theater was with 90s up front and 50s rear, and that Queen thing demo was playing, and I literally felt my shirt move on me.
Yes.
It's a thing, like, but it wasn't like that before. Like it changed the 50s as well. It puts more of a round EQ on it than a flat one like it used to.
Mm-hmm. No, when I first doing the 90s here, I was holy shit. That was like, the guy complained right away, because when I was watching a movie with my girlfriend, I'm like, and I told her, like, this is running away from me, man. Honestly, even in the night listening mode, it was too much. Like, And then you don't want to ruin the movie by sitting there with sliders, right? Because the sound turns off from the speakers and such. So I just, but I toned them down, but they still boomy.
I mean, is it better if you take the what you call it, the room comp or the thing off, the filters off?
I tried that. I temporarily disabled them, and then they had even more bass.
Okay.
For me, it was the adverse effect. The first time around, it was it made almost no difference with the bass, and I don't know if it was just the placement of the microphone that half inch further or backwards, and it's out with that much bass. Or I don't know what I did wrong the first time I tuned them, but they definitely had a lot more juice. Or did something change in the later releases of the software in the theater, specifically, let's say, pertaining to the 90s, where they had, it like a quiet bug fix, I guess you could call it, one of those many bug fixes where they tone down the bass response on the 90s, because it's just, fuck, you watch a movie, you gotta recock the windows, for God's sakes. Like, it's just
Yes.
fuck off, man. I
You
can't
know what you
watch
should
anything.
do? You should buy Florida approved windows, hurricane rated
Yeah, but
windows.
that's not the windows. Is the least of my problems. It's the walls that are adjacent to my neighbors, because that fucking bass travels a lot, a lot farther than
Especially
you
anything
think.
under 20 hertz, like that, like
Oh, that
miles.
rumble goes, man. That goes 2 3 units in, 100%. And I
Yeah.
know, because I did play them, and I walked outside to just walk around, and you can hear the bass like fucking 20 meters down the hallway. You can't really tell that it's coming out of my apartment, but it almost sounds like a generator at some places, like the diesel generator rumble, when you depends on what bass is playing. I also had a neighbor from my other side complain, because the 19 apparently with the movies also moves a lot of air in the bedroom. So
Yes. It like it's look, it's to the point where this 19, like the way it's here, I can't really have it on at all at night when she's sleeping because our bedroom is straight behind our green wall there.
oh yeah, dude, it's just pushing.
Yeah, and it's like I can have it on. I think up to 36 on the moment, but then it is slightly dependent on what kind of music it is. But other than that, like even in a wall like this in our own house, it's hard, right?
Yeah, and somebody says put your music in direct. I have, actually, my music is set to direct mode for that specific reason, because with the true image, oh man, that puts a lot more sauce on the bass than you really need. Like, that gets pooped up. Oh, dude, it's too much. It's too much. But it's interesting, because I never had those issues, and now I find myself that I have to dick with all these filters and parametric equalizers, and there's a lot more salt and pepper and massaging the dough and kneading to bake the bread proper.
It was look. It's not an issue have if you have 8, 18s, 28s. It's set and go, right? Because it's also not as noticeable because the change is not as dramatic.
No, they don't have nowhere near as much power, but
Yeah, but so the 1 dB more or less is not like versus boom, right?
mm,
But with 90s and 50s, it quickly is too much.
yeah. Well, Sandeep says, didn't recommend bypass the theater entirely. Well, I don't have the choice to bypass the theater entirely, because all my music is on it, essentially, other than what's on my 9000. And the 9000 doesn't have that bass issue, I have to say. But, it's CDs. That doesn't matter anyways. But the CDs have no issues. There's still bass, but it's nowhere near as crazy as what it is. Or maybe I'm just not used to that. Like, I've had them in the box for fucking 3 years, and now coming back to them, it's almost re-revealing. But I don't remember them being that
Well,
boomy on the Avant.
If it's too much, I have a set of 50s here for you.
Oh, I know.
If you can no longer handle the truth.
The years-long story continues on. God, yeah, nice try, as always.
I've been told in no uncertain terms that 90s are not welcome here. So...
There you go.
Well...
you know what? She'd get over that in a week or two.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
They always do, bro. It's not like you're cheating. You just bought shit.
I'm not sure which would be worse, quite honestly.
You're going to be cheating on her with your speakers at that point, because, in fact, once you get the 90 set up, it's hard to leave the room. It is really hard to leave the room. Because you want to hear everything that you've ever heard in your entire life in those 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever the demo you have, if you have any.
Well, I think part of the fear is, right, that it would be just trading in one set of 50s for 90s. There would still be 50s, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I would keep those, 100%. 100%. You already got that in the door. Fuck it.
I mean, you can pick whichever set of 50s you want.
You know, they're all the same color, so...
Yeah, there's still warranty on one set of them.
Look at you selling that shit. Fucking hell.
God, I think there's another year and a half or almost 2 years on one of them.
Oh, I could care less on the warranty, brother. I could fix them no matter what.
Sure, but that's how new they are, right? And it would be like, it wouldn't cost you anything.
It'd be costing me my time because I'd be still the one that's doing the repair.
Yeah, but they would pay you for that. They pay you for warranty work.
Yeah, you can claim that on the B&O, but no, I'd be still the one that's taking the screws out of that speaker.
I mean, on the 50s, it's actually a lot easier than on the 90s because it's like it's this sort of access panel that you can open.
Mm-hmm. Sandeep says, interesting. I bypass the theater for music. Well, how do you bypass the theater for music? Well, I guess
with a streamer,
with the streamer, right? Yeah, but I have nothing else attaching to it other than, the Deezer account and B&O Music. So for me, it makes no sense to buy another streamer to listen to music through a streamer.
Don't you have a core somewhere?
In the box.
Can't you attach that via optical or something?
I could.
Like just stream into that or have that played, like especially the old core.
Yeah, but the old core don't sound as good as the new one does, bro.
No, I understand, but it's for the specific reason of not Mozartifying your 90s.
Mm-hmm. No, for me, at this point, yes, I'm complaining, but I had toned it down. Mm-hmm. It just, the initial was nonsense. Like, I never had that experience, like I said, and that path that I had to take didn't exist before. See you, cubbies. You know what I'm saying? But now with the Mozart, they fucking sound much better, man, I have to say. But yeah, you have to attenuate. You got to do the Kraftwerk play with the knobs to attenuate the bass a little bit, because it does get booming.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to attenuate things.
We're going to attenuate out of here.
Hope you all have a good week. We'll see you next week for sure. And, well, if we get teams to work.
We get technical difficulties. We'll see what happens. And if we're late, we're new to this.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, have a good week and stay safe, have fun. And
thanks for watching. Bye.